Eagles fan take a deep breath and look at the standing. The feeling is different today, isn't it? After weeks of tension, anxiety, and that dark cloud hovering over Nick Sirianni's head, the sun has finally appeared in Philadelphia, and it is shining brighter than ever. We didn't just have a good weekend. We had the perfect scenario, the kind of scenario we simulate on the ESPN playoff machine, but never actually think will happen in real life. First, we did our homework, an absolute massacre of 31-0 against the Raiders, a game that cleansed our souls and restored the team's defensive identity. But the real gift, the icing on the cake, came from Texas. It came from an unlikely place, from an eliminated team that fought as if it were the Super Bowl. Thanks to a divine combination of our competence and our biggest rival's incompetence, the path to the division title is not just possible, it is imminent. We went to sleep hoping for a miracle, and we woke up with the NFC East practically wrapped in gift paper on our doorstep. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday Night Football, because it was absolutely delicious to watch. The Dallas Cowboys, our eternal rivals, were playing at home at AT&T Stadium. They were favorites by almost a full touchdown in the sportsbook. They were facing the Minnesota Vikings, a team that had just been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention earlier that same day. The stage was set for an easy Dallas victory that would put maximum pressure on it. The narrative was written: Dallas is unstoppable at home, but the NFL is wonderful. The rookie quarterback for the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, walked into Jerry Jones's house and was not intimidated. He had the performance of his life. Minnesota scored 34 points. They dominated offensively, and most importantly, they exposed the Cowboys' frailties for the whole world to see. Dallas's defeat by 34-26 was not just a stumble, it was a disaster for their pretensions and a golden ticket for us. That arrogance that Dallas is invincible in Arlington fell apart. Watching Jerry Jones's face in the luxury box as his team crumbled against a rookie QB was almost as satisfying as our own win. So let's translate what this means for our season, because the math has changed drastically in 24 hours. The Philadelphia Eagles now boast a record 9 wins and 5 losses. The Dallas Cowboys dropped to 6 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie. Because of that bizarre tie they had against the Packers earlier in the season, their ceiling of wins collapsed. They can no longer reach 10 wins. The absolute best they can do is finish with 9 wins. This gives us absolute control. Our magic number to guarantee the NFC East title is 1. That is right. We need to win only 1 of the last 3 games. If we beat the Washington Commanders this Saturday, it is over. We are champion. If we lose but beat the Bills the following week, it is over. We are champion. If we lose everything but beat the Giants in the final week, it is over. We no longer need to root against the Cowboys. We don't need to check the scores of other games. The destiny is 100% in our hand. And considering how the team played on Sunday, the confidence is through the roof. But fan, I need you to understand the historical gravity of what we are about to do. Winning the division is great. It guarantees a home playoff game. But what is at stake here is breaking one of the most bizarre statistics in NFL history. We are talking about the NFC East curse. Since the 24 season row, no team has managed to win the NFC East in 2 consecutive years. Think about that. That is more than 20 years of hot potato. In 24, the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, and Terrell Owens, won the division for the 4th straight year. Since that day, no one has repeated the feat. The Giants won Super Bowls but never repeated the division. The Cowboys had strong teams with Romo and Dak, but never repeated. The Commanders had their moments but never repeated. It is a statistical anomaly. The most chaotic division in football does not allow dynasty. Every year the champion changes. We almost broke this curse last year. In 2023, we had our hands on the trophy, but that historic end-of-season collapse allowed Dallas to steal the title in the final stretch. Now we have the chance for redemption. We have the chance to exorcise the ghost of 2023 and end this 2-decade drought. Winning the division in 2024 and 2025 would consolidate the Philadelphia Eagles as the only true stable power in this conference. It is a matter of honor. It is about proving that we run this division. The NFL, in its infinite wisdom, gave us the perfect scenario for the coronation. We play this Saturday against the Washington Commanders, and the context could not be better. Washington sits with a record of 4-10. Their season is over, but the crucial detail is at the quarterback position. The reports mention that they are playing the final stretch without superstar second-year QB Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels is the future of that franchise. Without him, the Commanders are a rudderless ship with an anemic offense and a defense that gives up a lot of points. Historically, Washington has been our recent customer. They have lost 7 of the last 9 matchups against us, playing on the road. With the motivation to lift the division trophy in a rival's locker room, the Eagles enter as absolute favorite. Of course, it is a division game. Trap games exist. But compared to having to beat the Bills in Buffalo or deciding our life in the final week against New York, facing a Commanders team without their starting QB is the best early Christmas present we could ask for. I know many of you still have scars from last year. It is natural. When we started losing 3 games in a row this year, everyone thought, here we go again. Collapse 2.0 has arrived. The comparisons were inevitable. The defense looked lost. The offense wasn't clicking. But the 31-0 victory against the Raiders and this Cowboys loss changed the narrative completely. Unlike 2023, where Dallas won 7 of their last 9 games to hunt us down in 2025, Dallas is tripping over their own feet. They lost to the Vikings at home. Our margin for error now is giant. In 2023, we couldn't breathe. In 2025, we can even stumble, which won't happen, and we will still have chances. The pressure has changed sides. The panic left the NovaCare complex and went to install itself in Arlington, Texas. The vibe is different. The leadership is different, and frankly, the competition is helping us out. Let's also remember why this matters so much. Winning the division guarantees at least 1 playoff game at Lincoln Financial Field. We know how hostile the Link is in January. No one wants to come play in Philadelphia in the freezing cold with the crowd screaming and Vic Fangio's defense biting at their heels. Securing this home game is the first step to the Super Bowl. If we entered as a wild card, we would have to travel. We would have to go to Atlanta, or to Detroit, or maybe even to Dallas. The road would be much harder. Winning on Saturday guarantees that the path to the Super Bowl starts on Broad Street, and that is worth gold. Just think about the energy of a playoff night game in Philly. The Fly Eagles Fly song echoing. That is what we are playing for this Saturday. Tactically, the game against the Raiders showed that the team woke up. The defense stopped giving up easy yards. The tackling was crisp. The pass rush finally got home. The offense rediscovered the use of the tight ends and protected the ball. 0 turnovers. Arriving for the game against Washington, coming off a 31-0 win, is very different from arriving coming off a tight loss. The confidence was restored. Brandon Graham, with his 2 historic sacks, injected energy into the locker room. Saquon Barkley is fresh because we didn't have to overwork him in the blowout. Jalen Hurts is protecting the ball. Washington, on the other hand, is coming off a loss where they gave up over 30 points to the Vikings. Their defense is broken. Our offense has the obligation to dominate. We need to go in there and step on their throats early. No mercy. Let's look deeper at Washington. At 4-10, morale is low. Players are making vacation. The coaching staff is evaluating talent for next year. They are playing out the string. When a team has nothing to play for and their superstar QB is out, they usually fold when punched in the mouth. If the Eagles come out aggressive, score a touchdown on the opening drive, and get a sack on defense, Washington will likely quit. They don't have the fight in them right now to match our intensity if we bring our A game, but we have to bring it. We cannot play down to their level. We need to treat this like the Super Bowl because, for all intents and purposes, it is our championship game for the division. Fan, prepare your jersey, prepare your favorite drink, and warn the family. Saturday afternoon is not time for shopping. It is not time for a walk in the park. It is time to witness history. We can sleep on Saturday night as back-to-back NFC East champions, something an entire generation of fans has never seen happen. The help from the Vikings was fundamental, but now it is up to us. We are not going to wait. We are not going to give bad luck a chance. We are going to go into Washington, impose our rhythm, win the game, and put on the champion hat. My question for you to end this video with the hype way up high is this. Who do you want to face in the first round of the playoffs at the Link? A rematch against Dallas to end their season personally? Or do you prefer to catch a team from the South or West? Leave your opinion in the comments. The era of the Eagles dynasty in the NFC East begins this Saturday. Leave a like if you are confident and subscribe to the channel. We are going to cover every second of this run. Fly, Eagles, fly.